Hello and welcome back to the Game Bet Match podcast. I'm your host Manny Friedman, along with my co-host.
Brad Sloan.
It's back in the house, baby.
Yeah, back in the house, back in my actual house. A little bit better setup. I apologize. We got some comments from John Reed about the camera quality last time. Went back and rewatched. It was not good. I don't know if you saw, man. I sent the picture of like my hotel room. The way like my setup was not exactly ideal for podcasting. My table was like literally like my knee height. Like
Yeah, and you got your four Grand Slam background and right behind you, right?
yep, four
Let's see
grand
that
slam. Yeah,
picture.
yeah. I know. Sometimes I have to check what the surface is, so I can go back and let me know that Australian Open starting tomorrow. So I know hard court, so that's always good.
That's good. Yeah, that's a reminder, right? Do you have like court speeds like on that diagram? You know,
No, I
probably
do
should put
not.
that
I
up.
do
I think that might
not.
help your betting.
I might need to put that on there. I might need to start. Yeah.
All right, so tonight we're just going to do a quick recap and draw talk preview. And then tomorrow morning we'll have another pod with Smooth. It will be an Ace the Odds pod to talk about round one matches. So we'll probably,
Yep. And I think to talk about more like any true futures bets we have and any kind of logic there.
yeah. So this one will be a quickie. We're going to try to make it more digestible. I know there's a lot of content out there. Just before we get started, I just kind of want to, you know, um, give what, you guys what to expect for the next fortnight and like talk about the Sharp Circle stuff. Because there's some amazing betting challenge on there. That should be really fun to take part in, right? It's completely free, right? I think it's a max of 7 units a day. And I think there are tons of like cool prizes, right? Even for like last place gets a prize. I think
And
you
there's like bet of the tournament, bad beat of the tournament. I think there's like six different prizes. Yeah, it's a pretty great setup.
yeah.
And then there's also a bracket challenge, just like a standard bracket challenge. So that could be a cool one for people who just like kind of like doing like Australian Open brackets. So yeah, really, really neat stuff.
And we're going to be trying to,
Sharpcircle.bet is the site, spelled exactly how those words are spelled in English. Um, if you have any questions, you can DM us. You can DM the Sharp Circle team on X. But yeah, it says sharpcircle.bet. And then you can navigate to the website. I think there's once you log in or once you're on the site, I think there's a literally like a tournament challenge button. So very straightforward.
yep. And same setup for the other tournaments. We'll do our individual plays on Sharp Circle exclusively, and then if there's any GBM plays and popcorn tennis, we'll be posting that on X. And we're gonna try to do. I think we're forming a group of people, but we're gonna be trying to do some daily spaces amongst the Sharp Circle team, right? So Smooth will be part of it, and I think there's like four or five other guys. So it's gonna be kind of like rotating hosts and kind of like a ringer gambling kind of setup with different people on different days to give different
I'm
perspectives.
really excited for that to get to like the second, third round once we start to see like who's at the top of the leaderboard and there's more like talk
Yeah,
around the challenges too. I think that could be really, really fun.
it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be great. So
And we could definitely talk about some of like the crazy bets that happen and some of the crazy, like
yeah,
I think it'd be a really fun way to talk tennis, but like talk tennis and kind of recap tennis in like more of a I don't know, kind of with a little bit of little bit of a different twist, let's say.
mhm. So in terms of pods, I feel like we'll try to do one next weekend to recap and just have more tennis focus like between us, and hopefully we can have Smooth on again. But if we're doing the daily spaces, I think um, that might take the place of more regular pods during a slam.
Yeah, I think if we get, I mean, I would be ecstatic if we got like depending on how the daily spaces goes, depending on how many days we end up with, if we got like one midweek pod out, like a round two, round three pod, and a weekend pod, I'd be ecstatic.
Yeah.
I think probably a weekend pod is probably more realistic, but we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll keep you posted. But tons of exciting stuff. I feel like the content has really kind of taken off for this slam more than any other. I think everyone's just super excited for Grand Slam tennis to be back. But I think it's also a great sign of things to come for future slams and stuff. So And if Circle grows, I wouldn't be surprised to see some more of these things for like Masters 1000s and stuff like that too. So, just exciting stuff overall. So let's do a quick recap. So we had the two tournaments in Auckland and Adelaide finish up today. Machac just beat Ugo Humbert in the final in 3 sets in Adelaide, and we saw Mensik beat Sebi Baez, who's been incredible on hard court. He played lights out against Giron. I guess let's start there with Baez. Like, do you think it's a sign of a turnaround for him on hard court, or do you think he's gonna regress again or and become like a golden swing specialist? Like, I mean, it's great for him because like now that he's like racking up some points here, he can like play the golden swing with some less pressure, I feel, and still be a mainstay on the tour. Because
Yeah,
like,
I mean it's really interesting. He won 80%, or he served over 80% first serves
hmm
in all 5 matches this week in Auckland, which I think is very interesting. So I think that's one big question. Is he going to make 80% of first serves? He's a guy who makes a lot of first serves, I think, to start with. I think he's up over 70% usually, but 80% of first serves in is a really high number. Um, yeah, so
how
that's one question I think that's out there with him.
but how important is
Um,
that for him really? Because isn't the first serve usually for him just a point starter anywhere anyway?
yeah, but I mean, I think he, like I said, usually makes 70%. To make 80 is definitely an increase, right? Like it's a pretty significant jump.
So what was his second serve points won last year compared to this year?
He won second. He was at 50%, I think. Let me I'll pull it up. Uh, I'll do hardcore. I mean, I'll just pull up all hardcore just for
hmm
2025 on hard last year. He won 44% of second serve points. He's at 60% second serve points won so far this year. So he's playing great. I mean, I don't think it's gonna be as bad. I mean, last year was really, really bad. I think even post bowl, even by his standards. I mean,
hmm
I'm looking at what he did on hard last year after Golden Swing. He had 3 wins: Zhejiang in Shanghai, Busta in Cincinnati, and Golfan in Cincinnati, and Busta in Winston Salem.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I think somewhere in between. I think it'll go better than it went last year. But we saw him win Winston Salem. What was it, 2 years ago? And I remember John Reed and I having a conversation on this podcast about like can Baez be a top 100 hardcourter, and he
Yeah.
quickly proved he couldn't.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know what would change. And if you look at his wins so far this year,
He's just beating up on
we've
all the Americans.
what?
He's beating up on all the
Well,
Americans.
we've got. I
Shelton,
mean, I guess
Fritz.
that's where I would go. I would go the other way with it. Though we've got a win over an injured Fritz, who has looked, hurt and
Yeah.
not good so far this year. Munar's a good win, but it's to start the season. But Vrinka's probably a really good matchup for Baez, just fitness wise. He's going to get into points.
Yeah. Lost to
Nava's probably another really good matchup for Baez. Brooksby, I was surprised he beat Brooksby that well, but again, Brooksby can be susceptible to bad matches. Um, Shelton in a weird match that was rain delayed, and I
Yeah,
don't know.
but these are guys that he would lose to pretty easily last year on hard court. So these are all relatively good wins. They're all top 100 wins, you know.
I mean, I wouldn't call Wawrinka a top 100 win. I guess Nava's
Okay.
technically a top 100 win by ranking.
But, I saw the match against Giron yesterday, and he was A, ripping the ball, and B, moving extremely well. And we talked about Baez with his like movement on hard courts being an issue, and it seems like he really cleaned that up. He was cutting the court off really well. He was like taking balls earlier than he used to, being a little bit more but aggressive in smart ways. Whereas I feel like before he would be 10 feet behind the baseline and try to be aggressive, and that's just not. winning tactic on a hard court. Whereas this year he's like cutting the court and taking balls earlier. So I see some noticeable improvements with his game. Um, that being said, with Baez, I think he's pretty streaky. So we've seen him go on runs like when he won Winston-Salem, like he won like 5 or 6 matches in a row, and then he fell off a cliff, right? We've seen him do this in Golden Swing where he has like 2 or 3 really good weeks, and then he just can't sustain it. And I think this the sustaining part piece of it is very, very difficult. So I think you have to be careful with betting him because now I feel like he's going to be kind of overvalued a little bit. So you have to be wary of it. Like I feel like it can fall off a cliff at some point.
I'm still also not convinced he can beat like really good players, like top 50 players on a hard court. I mean, again, I guess, those wins are really top 50 hard court wins. Munar's probably on the precipice. Fritz is injured, so is that really a top 50 win? He's looked terrible. Shelton's a top 50 win for sure, but again, it was kind of a I don't know. I don't like
They're good wins. I'm not going to take anything away from him. Like he was never beating Fritz. He was barely winning games against Fritz, and like I understand Fritz is injured, but like I'm still going to give him credit for that win. Like it's good stuff.
yeah, we'll see.
So
I
I
think he'll lose more than he'll win on hard court this year for sure. Like, do you think he'll go over 500 on hard court? I think that's pretty ambitious.
I mean he's starting off on a good foot. What is he 7-1 right now on
I'm
hardcourt?
saying rest of year.
Oh, okay. Ah, probably a little bit above 500, but
I would say under.
okay. Okay. Yeah, I mean he's shown to be streaky though, so it's hard for me to uh
But has he? I mean, when is he? What has he really done? He's had a couple tournaments outside Golden Swing in his career, but not much.
Winston-Salem this.
Yeah,
Didn't he
but
make
that's two streaks in his career. So, I mean, outside of that Winston-Salem win,
Oh, Bucharest? I mean, I know that's clay, but
that's Clay.
it's not Golden Swing though.
But a week. I mean, that's a weaker Clay 250.
Okay. All right, we'll talk about this tomorrow, but I do have a bet on Bias to beat GMP at plus
All right,
105.
all
So,
right.
yeah. Who else kind of impressed you these last this week in general?
Um, I mean, I think another good week for Giron, right? Like obviously like a loss of Baez in the semis is not good, but good week for Giron.
Yeah, I'm actually the first set was poor from him, but I thought the second set he started playing really well, and like I was actually really impressed that Baez kind of pulled that out. I thought that that was
Yeah.
more good than bad from both guys just watching that match yesterday. So I don't know. I think I'm a little bit higher than you on Baez on
I
hardcore.
also think that Giron is somebody who is might actually be undervalued because he had a really poor stretch. So if you're looking at like last 2 week stats for Giron, this stretch was really poor in like around US Open time frame. But when his form is good, like I actually think Giron is okay. He's maybe like a borderline top 50 hard quarter, maybe even higher, maybe like
Yeah.
top 40 when he's going well.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like his confidence really tanked out like maybe for 2, 3 months last year, and it went really poorly. Who knows? Could have been some kind of physical issue too, but like, yeah, but he's another guy who like I don't know. He's got like he's better than maybe his stats or his rankings show right now.
Yeah, I feel like he's improved his backhand a little bit. His backhand has like a weird twitch where he takes the hand off of it, and I feel like he could get error prone with that, and I felt like it's held up more often than not this year. So that could be a big part of it. Um, I feel like he doesn't like he hits good penetrating shots from the baseline, but he doesn't transition well to the net. He doesn't do it well enough, I would say.
I
He's
just think he kind of lacks. I don't know. Like I got a little bit of a different take. I mean, I just think he lacks any real like skill to make him a top 30 player.
yeah, there's no nuance, there's no variation, right? It's
I mean, what does Giron do like better than average?
yeah, I mean, I think he's an underrated ball striker, and I think the consistency off the backhand was an issue and it's improved. Um, and
I mean,
he's a
he
good
does
ball
he
striker
does
on
he
both wings.
he just feels to me a guy who does like a lot of things pretty well, but like nothing elite. And if you look at the top 20, 30 guys, you start to get to guys who have like elite parts of their game. And like, what does Giron do at like an elite level?
Yeah, but there's no nuance to his game. Like there's very it's very rare that you see him play a drop shot when the guys tend
Well,
to,
that would be something. I mean, like if he
right?
had great tactics, and that would be something that would be something that would be like good or elite, right? Like I guess that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. It's like, what does he even what does he have that's like top 20? Like what part of his game is top 20?
Well, that's why it's a problem for him. Like yesterday, Baez was kind of beating him up in rallies, and like he just competed harder in the second set, and like he saved a ton of break points, which made it a fun set to watch. But he didn't do anything necessarily like tactically to change the how that match would play out, you
But
know?
it's not, I mean, it's like again, I just like yeah, and he just doesn't do he doesn't have like any specific what is his like thing that he does well? Like he's got a lot of things he does well, but like what like yeah,
Yeah.
it's just
No,
tough.
I'm
Like
with
there's a
you.
lot of
I'm
really
with you.
good. I think he's a really limited ceiling guy, but it is good. I am happy to see him recovering and playing like I said, like top 50-ish tennis.
So I know he beat
I think
Mickelson this week, but like overall, do you put him ahead of Mickelson in your power rankings?
it's really close. It's really close. Probably, but like it's very heavily form based.
Okay, fair.
Like, like
Fair.
Giron, he can kind of go off the mat.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Um, who else should we talk about this week? I mean, I guess we got to talk about the champion in the champions. Mensik in Auckland. Good week for him. Um, he did get a little bit lucky, getting past Marjan in the semis.
I mean, where did he get lucky? He won
He
the third set by a breadstick,
no, he
right?
had he had three. He was down three set points in the first set.
All right, fair enough. And I
So
guess if he loses that first set, he could have lost the second set.
yeah,
Okay. All right.
but yeah, I mean, we talked a little bit of Mensik pre-pod off air. I mean, he's really a hard guy to judge for me because he's talented. I think his serve is overrated. I think he has an elite first serve, but his second serve can be a liability. I think his forehand has some issues as well.
He double faults a little bit more than you'd like, also.
Yeah. And then between the years, I mean, maybe he's taking a step forward. I mean, this is a step in the right direction, I guess. Um, but who did he beat this week?
But honestly, this draw was not the best draw. I mean, he beat Hamad, Pericard, Marjan, Baez to win this title. Not terrible, but not great either. Like, I mean, are any of those guys top 50? Probably not. Maybe Hamad. Well, like, the jury's still out on him.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I
Very weird the difference in the draw between Auckland and Adelaide. I mean, it makes sense.
yeah, but I think Mensik's ranking is inflated. I don't really think that he's top 20 worthy, and I think
I
that
don't think anybody thinks he should. I mean, I don't think anybody thinks he's playing at a top 20 level right now, right? I mean, he's
yeah,
ranked 18th because he's got Miami
I
points
mean,
dropping off in April.
right. But where is his true ranking is my question. I would
Probably in like the low 30s,
okay.
low 30s maybe. Is what I would say. Like,
Yeah, probably
because
right.
I mean, and honestly, like it'll be interesting to see him because like he could take a step up. He's only 20, could take a big step up this year.
Yeah.
Like he's got the game.
I mean, do you think he's an elite athlete? Can't really tell.
Mover, no, but he has elite power.
His backhand is really good too. He has a really good backhand.
I mean, he is elite power, right? Like he's not the best mover, but he's got elite power.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, he does. I don't think his forehand is that powerful. I think it's I think a big issue for Mensik is his the fact that his shots are very flat. So when he's not feeling it, the margin of error is very low,
Yeah, I would agree
right?
with that.
And his first serve is very it's just very placement oriented, but I mean it's a spot serve with power, but it's not heavy. It's not a heavy serve, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that probably shows that on clay it's not going to be as effective, I guess, but on hard court it should be. Um, yeah, we'll see if he makes a step up. It's going to be interesting. Shelton. Um, I mean, we talked about maybe he just wanted to get the hell out of there with the rain delays and stuff, but like I also think he's just playing really badly right now. He just seems like he has no rhythm and he's been getting broken more often than not, too. Like he got broken twice by two or three times by Baez in that first set.
I mean, he got
Komasani,
broken 5 times by Baez in that match, which is, really not. I mean, he should never be getting broken 5 times in a match. Very few guys should on
exactly.
the Pro Tour. I mean, and he had to save, I guess he's had to save 6 break points against Komasani. I think most of those were in the first set.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I think it's tough to judge for Ben. I'll be really interested to see how this slam goes. I'm looking back right now, like, how often does he play warm-up events for slams? So, like, last year he played the Mallorca warm-up event, lost first round to Lerner.
I think this
Um,
event last year, Auckland.
he did, and he lost in the first round to Mensik.
Okay, but that's a tough match.
Uh, Lost in the second round of Mallorca, or second match of Mallorca in 2024. Lost his first round in Geneva last year as a Roland Garros. So, I mean, he did make the semis of Auckland in 2024, but I don't know. He seems to be somebody who I don't think there's a lot of guys who do this, but we had this conversation pre-pod, Manny. I wonder if him and his dad are like kind of prepping more for slams and really trying to peak at the slams because he's kind of shown a history ever since he came up of really overperforming at the slams.
I do think best of five favors him, but I also think if he's not feeling the ball well and not playing good tennis, I think that overrides the slam prowess, especially the fact that he's going to have a tough first round against Humbert. That's about as tough of a first round as you can ask for.
And he's had some
Yeah.
at least moderately friendly draws recently.
Exactly. Like who has he played in first rounds of slams in the last year?
Well, who has anybody, right? Once you're seeded, you're playing unseeded guys in the first round are probably not going to be
Yeah,
that
but
good. Like,
not an Humbert caliber guy, right? Like
I mean, how many caliber guys are going to be unseeded, right? Like last year, he played Nakashima in the first round of Australia,
that's a really good matchup for him, though.
but that's a pretty tough match, though. Like just in terms of
Right?
like player skill, it's
Okay.
pretty tough.
Fair.
Played Sonego in the first round of Roland Garros. That's a pretty tough first
Tough,
round
yeah,
match.
agreed.
So the other slams, no, but like, he's played some pretty. I mean, like, again, he's a seeded player. He's going to get unseeded guys the first two rounds. The unseeded player list is not great. There's only about 15 or 20 real unseeded
It's
threats.
getting better. I mean, we talk about how guys rank between 30 and 70. The gap is closed, right? Significantly.
I agree, but like, I don't know. I'm looking at the rankings now. Like, yeah, I guess there's probably 20, 25 guys who you really don't want to see in the first round.
I can tell you, I'm very, very, very close to hitting Humbert against Shelton in the first round of Australia. I Humbert is playing like short-term data shows that he's playing much better at the moment. Um, and I just think that that's a really, really tough matchup, first round, um, for anyone. Like if I'm looking at unseeded guys who I wouldn't want to play, like probably Humbert and Herkoch are like the one and two in terms
But
of
I mean, what? Well, yeah. But I think the market says it's going to be a pretty close match too, which I think makes sense. It should. I mean, it also feels like a match with a lot of tie breaks. I feel like both those guys. I mean, assuming Shelton's serving decent, both those guys are going to have a hard time. I think on return.
yeah, I think Shelton more so. I mean, Shelton's getting broken 5 times by Baez.
Okay.
So, all right, might be popcorn tennis. Well, you probably won't be on the Shelton side, right?
I would. It feels like a probably match. I just won't bet, but we'll see.
Yeah. Okay. And then Machac, I guess in Adelaide. Good rebound week for him, but I felt like he was undervalued for the most part, right? He played,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, the first couple rounds criminally so. To be honest, I thought.
yeah,
I regret not backing him the first round. Not just because he lost, he won, but because like he's just so much better than James Duckworth. Like it's
yeah.
not.
I
There's
did
just a
back him
huge
against.
athleticism gap and a huge tennis gap.
I tailed
Holly's, I
John
backed
on that.
him. What?
He was right on that handicap, and I was happy I tailed him against Duckworth. But I did play Halis. I kind of rode Halis's hot form. I feel like Mahak is just so hard to bet because the retirement issues and the mental uh the mental weakness just overshadows his great play.
That's why I didn't mind laying. That's why with him I don't mind. Like he's a guy who I'll play game spreads with.
Fair.
Like I don't mind. I don't mind. Actually, I really don't mind laying games with him
Yeah.
because if it starts going poorly, where you're like, where you'd be upset that he's going to take that like if it starts going poorly, we are going to be upset that like, oh man, like is he going to come back and not cover? Like one, he might just retire. Two, a lot of times it just goes away anyways. And if he's playing a guy who's better, then he's just going to dominate. He's just going to dominate, and like
Yeah.
you'll cover the
Yeah.
spread anyways,
Right.
So I played the game spread with him against Halise, and I played the game spread with him against Tommy, and I cashed both.
Yeah, good. I mean, you got the backdoor cover with against Paul.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So the 6-2 first set was not great.
Yeah.
Um,
I also faded him against Munar, which was not a good move, but I thought it was a tough matchup for Mahawk.
I agree, but I didn't play it. That was one where like he is a better player than Munar, but I find that I very rarely fade Jami Munar anymore.
Well, I backed him in that match.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I end up backing him more than I end up fading him, and I very rarely fade him. He's just like he's such
Yeah,
a tough player. The problem with Munar is he's terrible in key moments. He did come back from it. He did play a fascinating match against Cerundolo in the second round, I
that was a
think.
great match. Yeah, I agree.
Um, that he did come out on top of him in the third set, but that's generally pretty rare for him. I think his
Mhm.
like his record in deciding sets, I think in the last like 3 years is like 30% or something. It's really poor.
Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I think I kind of weighed that slap happy narrative of Machac too much, and I thought he would get frustrated in rallies. But I mean, Machac is just such a talented shot maker. He can take the racket out of your hand, right? So if Munar can't even get to the ball, like it's just not
It
gonna.
was also a really weird week in Auckland this week. It wasn't particularly windy. And then there was the one day of insane rain delays. Actually,
Yeah.
most of the day rained out that day. I was kind of surprised they didn't move indoors. I was happy they didn't because I hate those indoor courts there, but I was kind of surprised they didn't. So I think that kind of threw a wrench into things also.
Tough. I mean, a week before a slam in a country that gets a lot of rain and wind, but yeah. All right, so second week of the season in the books. Not a great one for betting for me. I'm kind I think I'm down like 15, 20 units to start the year, but a lot of tennis to come in the next 2 weeks. I usually typically do better in slams than regular tour events. I don't know about you, Brad.
Yeah, for me, it doesn't seem to matter too much. Usually not too great.
Not too different.
Um,
Okay. Yeah, I typically do better in slams for some reason.
oh, one more thing I wanted about. I mean, man, Tsitsipas losing to Vukic. Like
Uh,
after having a decent United Cup where like it looked like maybe there was something there, now like to lose to Vukic is just I mean, I think for him it's a really depressing loss.
well, nice read. I didn't bet it, but I was close to laying the 3.5. It was a lean, but I think you were on the set one overs, right?
Yeah, set one tiebreak. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because I think maybe set one over. I can't remember if it was set one over 10.5 or set one over tiebreak. But yeah, either way, I mean it did it was funny because my write up cashed almost perfectly.
Yeah,
Like my write up was basically like like he's not gonna break serve, but maybe he can string out holds together, which is what he did, and then he stole the two breakers. But just think, I mean, I don't know, man. Like I get Vukic is a tough server on fast courts, but uh, you'd like to see Tsitsipas find a break.
yeah. I thought it was actually a good matchup for Tsitsipas because, like, even though it's a court that probably favors Vukic, um, Tsitsipas does everything a little bit better than Vukic. Like, we talk about how shit Tsitsipas's backhand is, but Vukic's backhand is worse.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And
Yeah,
like we talk about how decent Vukic's forehand is, but like Tsitsipas does have a good attacking, like a really good attacking forehand too, and he's better at transitioning to the net um, than Vukic. We talk about how bad Tsitsipas's defense is, but I don't think you can deny that Vukic's defense is worse than Tsitsipas's, right? So it's probably I didn't see that match, but it's probably between the years, like I think that belief is missing. And maybe there's something to be said about United Cup with his like teammates being around him and there's like a little bit less pressure. Maybe that helps
that
Tsitsipas.
could be true. That could be true.
A guy that's like pretty mentally like insecure, it feels, and just kind of not sure of what he should be doing on the court. I feel like he needs that moral support,
Yeah, yeah.
you
And
know?
then one more guy who I wanted to like. I mean, pretty good return for Tommy Paul too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's funny because when the draw came out, we were talking about that Paul Kova match and like I was like, oh, I'm probably going to be on Kova. And then you were like, no, Paul should be at least a six game favorite, right? And then as I watched Paul more throughout the week, I was like, okay, it became from like I thought it should have been 4 games, then the next match 5 games, and then it landed at 6. And I think the line is spot on now. So I
Yeah.
kind of, yeah, it was an important week for Paul, right? Like if he lost to Opelka round one, then I would be like, okay, he's probably something is a little off here, you know? But I think it was kind of a reassuring week that like, okay, he's healthy and he's kind of going to be able to work his way back into top 20 form.
Yeah, I don't even,
Right.
I can't remember the stats from the Paracard match, but if I remember right, even the stats from the Paracard match weren't. I mean, I don't think they were great, but they were. I don't know. Pericard's always tricky because he's even more of a bot than Opelka. Um, Paul against a Pericard won
Did Tommy Paul play?
28% of return points, and he won 33 against Opelka. Not great, but not horrid. I mean, again, not against those two
Oh,
guys, right?
He played Opelka in Brisbane. Okay, I'm
Yeah,
lost. Yeah, I mean that's a tough way to start your season. You get no rhythm with those two guys, right? So, but yeah, another bet I got wrong. I bet Vukic to win a set, but I was kind of on a Paul fade at that moment, and he kind of,
yeah,
probably not smart, but it's hard. Like I think I made some mistakes with my betting, and I felt like I weighed the short-term data and the recent form a little bit too much instead of
it's so hard the first couple of weeks because you don't know what guys especially when you're betting guys who come out hot, what guys really learned something versus just played a couple good matches.
Yeah, I'm gonna take notes actually. Like I think I'm just gonna probably just stay away from those kind of spots where I'm not
Yeah,
sure. It's probably the lesson to be learned. But yeah, I mean, always learning. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, like there are going to be some guys at the Australian Open where we haven't seen yet.
yeah, there'll be a few guys like
A
that.
slam is going to be the first match you see of them. So
That's always the case for a few of these guys, though.
yeah, it's true.
I feel like 80% of the tour plays one of the first 2 weeks of the season, and there's maybe 20% that,
Yeah,
comes in cold.
yeah. All right, let's get into Australian Open preview.
Yep.
Let's talk the draw. I mean, these draw talks are fun, obviously, but it's really, as you said pre-pod, like it's only there are only two quarters to talk about,
Yeah.
which is like it's not even at this point the gap between Alcaraz and Sinner and the rest of the tour is so massive that it's irrelevant what happens in
Yeah, in terms of who's going to win the quarter, yeah, it's more about fun matches and stuff and what kind of fun stuff is in the draw.
yeah. All right, let me share the screen here. All right, here we go. So, I guess we'll start in the top half of the draw. These matches will be Sunday and Monday. Um, Bottom half will be Monday and Tuesday. So you got Alcaraz will play Adam Walton. You'll
That's
have
a tough match. Tough first round match for Alcaraz.
yeah, Hoffman and Zachary Svita, a qualifier. Michael Zhang gets his first appearance in a main draw of a Grand Slam.
Manny's best friend, Michael Zhang.
Yeah, I know him personally, and I'm happy for him. I faded him against Lucas Klein at plus 180. Kind of a painful betting loss, but was really happy for him to make it. Interesting match with Korda. I definitely want to see that. School Kate will play Corentin Moutet. Tommy Paul will play Kovacevic, the match we just referenced. Tirante will play Vukic. Budkov Kiar qualifier will play Opelka, and then Mensik will play Fokina. So what catches your eye here?
I mean, I think there's a really interesting potential fourth round match between Fokina and Paul. Um, and I think if Budkov Kiar wins, can beat Opelka, I think that's an interesting match with Fokina. So that could be fun. I don't really think that top section, the Alcaraz section, is super fun. To be honest.
Hmm.
But I love the Paul Fokina matchup. We can see that again. Hopefully, if that happens, both are in decent shape and Fokina's fit for it. I think the last couple of times they've played, Fokina hasn't been fit for it, and it's been kind of a beatdown.
Yeah. But they have also played some five setters and stuff. Like they've also played.
That's what I mean. Like when both are clicking, it's a really fun match to
Yeah.
watch.
Yeah, yeah, I would agree with those takeaways.
And
Nothing.
both have pretty good draws. I mean, both have, I think, really good draws to get there. Like I said, Kiar versus Fokina could be interesting, but I think Kiar's still a little bit.
Yeah, he's still
A little
too
bit
young.
far off
I
to
actually
take more
think
than a
that's going to
set
be a
from Foki.
frustrating, tough matchup against Opelka. Like young players like that get really frustrated when
That could be tough too. You're right. You're
serves.
right.
So
But I mean, Opelka could be a really tough matchup for Fokina, or Fokina, Opelka could be a tough matchup for Fokina too if he, just if he serves well and gets the tie breaks. What do you do?
right, right. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you on those takeaways there. So then the second part of that quarter, you got Bublik, the Hong Kong champion, will play Brooksby. Ugo Carbai will play Martin Vucevic. Mio Kecmanovic will play Tomas Echeverry. A match which seems like it has 5 sets written all over it. Ferry will play Kaboli. Tiafa will play Kubler. Qualifier, Kipson will play Komasanya. Navoni will play Hamad Medjedovic. And Berrettini will play Diminor.
I mean, yeah, to me, this is kind of a crappy, just crappy in terms of like matchups. Like, yeah, just crappy in terms of matchups. Like, I don't really see anything stopping Bublik and Demonor from playing in the round of 16.
I would agree.
Um, yeah, I mean, and I just think, like I said, I think more than anything else, it's just matchups. Like, I think that people are getting excited about that Demon Berrettini match. I'm not nearly as excited. Um,
Yeah,
and then TFO looked so bad against Medvedev. Just I don't
I
see
actually think
anything.
Demon.
Komasana, I've kind of really cooled my jets with him. Like he has the weapons to beat guys on hard courts. He's a threat,
Yeah.
but he's somebody who's going to be like he's going to be a deserved like plus 500 against Demon or something, And like it's like is it a match he could win? Sure. Is it a match he will win? Highly doubtful.
I think
But if
Komasanya could present problems for Tiafo in round two.
I think present problems, the question is like should he like? I'm just really like Komasanya just makes too many errors, just too many mistakes for me to get like he can present problems, but yeah, just yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if Tiafo is not mentally in tune and he's kind of like fooling around a little bit, I think
I
Komasanya
I, I
could.
mean I think Komasanya could win that match, but I also don't think that's like I also don't like I think that says more about how I feel about TFO right now than it does how I feel
Yeah,
about
but the
Komasanya.
books tend to agree. I mean, Tiafoe's only a 4.5 to 5 game favorite against Kubler, like so, which is insane.
Like
So
that's low, right? I mean that's I mean I'll have to look at it more, but I think that's gonna have to be a smash for TFO. Like
okay, I'm not like I agree with the market. I think that like the U.S. media, right, is hyping Tiafoe up still, but like the market, the betting markets have adapted. Like
yeah, to me it's yeah.
so.
I just don't know. Like, has Kubler shown skills in his life? Sure, but he's just so the fitness seems so bad there. I don't know, man. I'm not buying it.
Yeah. I mean, I think for Demonor, like on paper, it's gonna sound like it's a tough couple first few rounds for him, but like I actually think Berrettini and Hamad are fantastic matchups for him.
That
I
was kind of my point. Yeah, I
yeah,
agree. Like I think like those are more fun matchups on paper than I think they are on the tennis court. I think this is a very I mean, we've talked a lot about this section now, more than I thought we would, but I think it's a pretty boring section.
agreed. Agreed, yeah. I'll probably lay games with Demonor against Berrettini and probably lay it again against Hamad.
I
Um
mean, what a gift draw for Alcaraz too. I guess Bublik's a little bit of a challenge, maybe, but I don't even think really, to be honest.
yeah,
Just like
Bublik's
it,
the
but just
one
a really
guy.
gift draw for Alcaraz.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Bublik would be by far the toughest quarterfinal. No doubt.
Yeah, yeah,
No
for
doubt.
sure.
The only guy that in this quarter that can give him some trouble. All right, second quarter. You got Sasha Zverev will play Gabe Diallo in the first round. Alexei Poprin will play Alex Muller, which I think is a pretty fascinating first round match. Nava will play Kirian Jacquet.
Yeah, I mean, what kind of dog is Muller there? I think Muller's got to be a
Plus
must hit if he's
165 is what
that feels really good.
it does. It
Really
does.
good
That's
price
probably
point
going to
for
be a play
Muller.
for me too. Um, Ben Bonzai will play Cam Norrie. Franz Cerundolo will play Zhizhen Zhang. Draxel will play Demir Zhumer. Alex Block's a lucky loser. He took Arthur Cazot's place. Will play Jaime Faria, qualifier. And then Matteo Arnaldi will play Rublev.
Rublev Cerundolo could be a lot of fun. It's a third round match. Two massive forehands.
Yeah, two massive forehands, but Cerundolo is just so erratic.
I know. I know.
Like he could easily lose that match to Zhang. Like that seems like a dog pass kind of match. I don't necessarily know if I really want to get involved. I think overs might be a good look in that match. Cerundolo Zhang. Um, I just don't trust Dolo against anyone. Like I feel like he could play Draxler or Zoomer and just like throw in 85 errors and lose.
Yeah.
You know?
It's
Um,
also funny that section, that Cerundolo Rublev section. I was going to say a really good draw for somebody, but I'm not really sure who.
it's good for Rublev.
I mean, you know who could make a run here? I mean, Blocks. I don't think Blocks is dead in the water here.
I would agree. I mean, I actually think Arnaldi is, I mean, he's not that good. He's overrated for sure, but I actually think that that's a pretty tough matchup for Rublev.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
Arnaldi plays decent tennis, it is. I mean, Arnaldi could make a run here too. I mean, that's an interesting section. Somebody could definitely get to the fourth round. It'll probably be Rublev in the end, but
But
somebody surprising could make a run here.
Arnaldi is not that great at tennis, but he's the one thing he is good is that he's a great athlete, right?
Yeah.
And that's Rublev is a guy that can extract that athleticism out of Arnaldi.
Although if Rublev's volleying better, like you said he was against Musetti, then all of a sudden it's a different story.
Yeah, I don't know if that's how sustainable that is.
I mean, honestly, man, like no joke, but like, I mean, if Zverev gets passive, I don't think it's unreasonable for Rublev to make another quarter here.
I would agree. I would agree. Yeah, I'm not high on Zverev. That's for sure. I mean if he plays Muller in round two, that's a good matchup for him. Nori has given him trouble in the past, right?
Nori's giving him trouble, I think.
Yeah, he has. I think
Yeah,
he
Nori could be a problem. I mean, I don't think this is a cakewalk. Bonzi is pretty tough. Like this is actually a pretty interesting. Like I think this is actually a very interesting section. The more I look at it, this
hmm
eighth of the draw is pretty interesting.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm actually like the more I think about it, I'm intrigued with that Arnaldi Rublev match. I think that could actually be a sneaky good first round match.
Yeah, I would agree.
Because see, since Arnaldi is such a good athlete, Rublev might be more hesitant to come to net because Arnaldi can throw up those lobs and kind of
Yeah,
reset the point.
I don't know though. Musetti's a pretty good athlete too.
You mean Rublev?
Musetti.
Oh, Musetti?
Yeah, and Rublev playing against Musetti, right? So
Yeah, okay, you're comparing that. Okay. Yeah. All right. Next section here. Medvedev against De Jong. Got Halis against Tabilo. Machac against Jacob Fernley or what's his first name?
Jacob.
Jacob
Yeah,
Fernley.
I think so.
Got Fabian Marjan against Arthur Rinderknecht. Lerner Tien against Marcos Giron, two Americans. Elias Ymer against Shevchenko. Juan Masarundolo against Jordan Thompson. And then you got Nuno Borges and Felix Auger-Aliassime, FA. Um, I'm high on Medvedev. Um, I have a bet on him to lose in the semifinals. So I think he wins this quarter. I think he should be the favorite to win the quarter, but if he plays Alcaraz in the semis, I think he's, you know, definitely a massive dog in that match. So I prefer him that bet to for him to lose in the semis than to win the quarter. Matchup
The nice thing about
wise,
Medvedev too is fitness is never an issue.
yep, yep, definitely. And I think he's had the perfect warm up. He built the confidence, winning Brisbane, had a week off, and now he should be fresh for a run here.
Yeah, I
And
mean the other interesting guy here too is FAA, right? The other guy who really came on at the end of last year.
yeah, I'm not as confident about him as I am Medvedev. And I
I
think
just mean like I think those two are going to match up because I don't really. I mean, he's that's a pretty weak section for him until he faces Medvedev, Nuno, Jordan Thompson,
I think Nuno's
Wanman,
live.
Shevchenko, Emer, Team Giron. That's a pretty weak group of guys, and a pretty low upside group of guys
Okay. I think Nuno's live though against FA.
to win the match. I would not agree.
Um, Nuno's a good slam player,
Yeah,
and FAA is not known to start slams quickly.
I think a set for Nuno, I think is very live. I don't know about him
Okay.
actually taking the match. Might go take two sets Nuno, but yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta see what that +1.5 set line might be. I might take
yeah.
that might be an interesting one. But Tien Giron is very fascinating. That's a match we can talk about with Smooth. Um,
That's a fun first round match. Yeah, I think it's just like, but I just think this overall section, like, there's some interesting and like there's some interesting guys and some interesting matches, but
mhm.
they all just die very quickly. Like Halys or Tabilo or kind of interesting players, but they get crushed by Medvedev in the second round. Like it's just like Medvedev is actually a really good. Like this is really a good a bunch of like really good matchups I think for Medvedev.
Medvedev landed in the perfect section, honestly. Like
Yeah,
to also land in a quarter because he's seeded 11, so to land in a quarter where Alcaraz isn't or Sinner isn't, right, is great for him.
I
And
mean,
I think if
Medvedev can't ask for a better draw.
yeah, and I think if he had to choose, he'd choose to be in Alcaraz's half, not Sinner's half.
I think he would literally choose if he could choose a spot. I think he would have chosen this spot. Like literally, probably chosen this exact spot.
That's funny. So
I mean,
Medvedev's 2-1 to win the quarter. Zverev is +225. FAA is +650. Rublev +750. Lerner 12-1. Lerner is way overvalued. It's insane.
I've got to think about the FAA, but the FAA feels pretty interesting at 650.
Yeah, it feels correct. Yeah, and no way I want to get involved with Zverev at +225. Hell no.
No, no.
No.
He might win the quarter, but I don't like plus 225 either.
Yeah. All right, let's head to the bottom half. So this is the Djokovic quarter. Where is it? So it starts with Lorenzo Musetti. He'll play Raf Collignon. Lorenzo Sonego will play Carlos Taberner. Grigor Dimitrov will play Tomas Machac. Should be a fascinating first round match. Mochizuki will play Tsitsipas. They played at the United Cup. He'll play again here. Yuri Lehechka will play Gaya qualifier. Laszlo Giri will play Stan Wawrinka. Vit Kopriva will play Jan Leonard Struff. And Valentin Royer will play
I mean, we
Thomas.
talk about like there's a lot of talk always like, are these draws fixed? I mean, it's crazy, man, how some of these eights look so much stacked than others. Like this is another stacked eight.
It is.
I mean, there's going to be some fantastic matches here. Musetti Coligno's actually, I think, is a pretty tricky first
Yeah,
rounder.
I agree.
Musetti Sonego is a pretty interesting second rounder. Uh, Tsitsipas should crush Mochizuki, but then he plays Dimitrov or Mahak. That's a tough match where he'll probably be a dog. He should be a dog in that one.
Hmm.
Whoever wins that, if they play Musetti, that's a fascinating match. Yeah, Hecka's in there. Fritz. I mean, pretty good draw for Fritz, to be honest.
Yeah, but Fritz has really
But
struggled
he's looked so bad health
so
wise.
bad.
I mean, I guess it's honestly now I'm thinking now that the more I think about it, like it's really just that Musetti 16th. It's brutal.
That's a tough 16th. And it's a reason for one of my bets, my futures bets, which I bet Bublik to advance further than Musetti at +105.
Yeah, that seems pretty insanely good.
Yeah, I
I
just
would be
think,
surprised if I wasn't on that with you. This draw just looks brutal from Musetti.
all right, that could be GBM.
Yeah.
So,
We'll see. I mean, no, I'll confirm it tomorrow, but
okay.
yeah, I would tend to agree.
Just tough draw for Mazzetti. I mean, Sonigo is not a guy you want to see, early in the
Brutal
slam.
draw from Musetti. Brutal draw from
Sonigo
Musetti.
just beat him in Paris pretty easily. He loves these courts. He made the quarters here last year. Um, and also a guy that never fitness is never an issue with Lorenzo,
Brutal
right?
draw from Musetti, man. Like just
Yeah.
absolutely brutal.
Yeah. Tough, tough. Well, Smooth won't be happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, next section, you got Mensik will play Carreno Busta. Sakamoto qualifier will play Rafael Jodar, who's actually really picked it up. He's been good on the challenger circuit. Him and Zhang have been. Uh, I think Jodar also played college tennis, right?
Yes. I can't remember where, but I'm pretty sure he played a couple of years.
Yeah. Hubie Hurkacz will play Zizou Bergs, another fascinating first round match. Ethan Quinn will play Talon Griekspoor. Nakashima will play VDZ. Jerry Shang will play Bautista Agut. Terrence Atman will play Francisco Mastrelli. And Pedro Martinez, who won a challenger in Nontamburi, I believe. He will play Djokovic in the first round. Um, where is it? So this little section here, I mean, it's a great section for Novak, to be honest.
It's a great section for Hubie Hurkacz.
I agree. I agree. It's funny you mentioned that because in my bracket challenge, I have Hubie in the quarters.
I think I like that a lot.
Um, yeah, and I think we'll see Novak's health. I know Novak said that he was like struggling with a neck thing or something. I mean, there's always some injury with him, so maybe it's really no concern.
But I do think we've seen him actually be injured more too.
I mean, he's 39, right? Father Time is undefeated.
Yeah.
So
Mensik winning this week, I think, makes him like a we were talking about before. We think usually these warm tournaments are a little overrated, but I think Mensik would be the exception. He's already had a lot of fitness issues.
agreed.
You
And what's
know, I
the
think
weather
coming
in
off
Melbourne to start the week?
what?
What's the weather to
Oh, I
start?
don't know. That's a good question.
'Cause if it's hot, that's even worse for Mensik. Pretty comfortable. It's like mid 80s. It's not too bad. Later in the week, it might get hot, but not too bad.
It's also worth mentioning. I don't know if it's new this year or not, but they have a new wet bulb heat rule in play that I think if it gets above, like,
Isn't that just an ATP thing, though?
is it? I
I
thought
thought
the
so.
Australian Open adopted it. I'm looking up right now.
Okay.
Australian Open wet bulb.
A guy that's also really struggled to start the year in this section is Griekspoor. He's looked really
Yeah,
he's looked
yeah.
awful. I actually think Ethan Quinn is live, or he probably I might bet him to win that match.
You're right, Manny. It's an ATP tour rule. I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't think it's something it would have to worry about. There's only one day in the 90s, and that's Saturday.
Okay.
Weather seems pretty good.
Yeah. But in any case, I mean,
We talk about Mensik being fatigued though, but like it's an easy draw. Carreno Busta, he should
oh, I
beat
know
no
that's the
problem.
problem. That's the problem. It's like the only guy in here you really should fear is Hubie.
Zizou,
Zizou too. Yeah, I think whoever wins that Hubie Zizou match is
yeah, I would agree.
live to make the quarters.
And I think Novak will play Nakashima in round three probably, but like that's such a bad matchup for Nakashima.
There's just nothing. I mean, there's nothing. Yeah,
It's nothing. Yeah.
this is another fantastic draw. I mean, it's another draw that makes you wonder if they tilt these because this is such a fantastic draw for Novak. Honestly, all the way through the event. I mean, even who does he get in the quarters? No, either Fritz or Musetti. If he gets through the if he gets through the gauntlet, he gets
Yeah.
Musetti, which would probably be a pretty I don't know either way. Like really, like none like it's just such a pure draw for Novak, man.
Yeah, Musetti's is a good matchup for Novak on a hard court. I mean, there are a lot of physical, entertaining points, but like Novak has the
All these guys are. I mean, Novak owns Fritz in the head to head.
yeah.
Um,
QB, you don't know. Like I feel like QB is going to be could be a tough matchup for Novak, but just like mentally, Novak is just way above, right? Like those
yeah, I mean, yeah,
points.
I would agree with that. Yeah,
We saw it
yeah,
even in Geneva last year. Like QB had him on the ropes and just couldn't close the door.
yeah. I don't
You
see
know?
any of these guys. I mean, it's such a good draw for Novak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quarter
And
price.
again, it's kind of unfortunate because like that's another quarter that's like not particularly interesting because of the way the draw came out. You know, it's just like there's the only really interesting quarter is this Zverev Medvedev quarter.
Yeah. Yeah. Hubie is 8-1 to win the quarter.
I mean, see, that's just not a great price in my mind.
Yeah, he's fourth favorite. I thought he would be. Yeah, Mensik
Like
is
you want to back Hubie to win a quarter, but you want a price.
right. Right. You want like a 15 to 20 to 1 kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, because the thing is, once you get to short prices, like any kind of single digits to win 5 consecutive matches, the opposite issue comes into play for QB two that like his return game's not that great, so matches are going to be closer than they should be because it's hard for him to generate breaks.
Yeah, it's true. All right, let's go over the last quarter. So the top half of the center quarter, you got Shelton will play Ugo Humbert. Very, very tough first round match for Shelton. We kind of touched on it in the recap. Dane Sweeney, who has had a good run to start the year, will play Gael Monfils. Actually, a pretty fascinating match. A guy with like no form but tons of talent versus someone in really good form. So I actually want to see some of that. Monterino, who's really struggled again, will play Rinky Hijikata. Martin Dam, who qualified, will play Valentin Vachereau. The 30 seed, because of the Shanghai title. Shapovalov will play Yu Bu. Daniel Altmaier will play Marin Cilic. Jaime Munar will play Dalibor Svina, and Martia Bellucci will play Casper Ruud. Um,
Really interesting section, because there's a lot of guys like. I mean, am I saying he's going to do it? Probably not. Probably not. But Lunar is somewhat live here to make a quarterfinal and then get absolutely trounced by Alcaraz. But he's somewhat live to make a quarterfinal.
that's true.
I think Shapo could be interesting. Martin Dam could be interesting. I think everybody knows who Martin Dam is. He's a big serving left-hander. I think he could give Vatro some trouble in round one. Could give Rinky or Manarino some trouble in round two. You know, he's probably not going to make it past round three, but could be definitely. I mean, and if Shelton does win his first two matches, if it's Shelton that gets through to play Dam, I mean that could be. Dam gets a pretty good draw here for a qualifier.
I would agree. Yeah. I mean, I think Rinky could actually be a tough matchup for Dam or Bashro, but it depends how much energy he has to expend against Manarino.
I just don't. I mean, I agree with. I guess. Yeah. I mean, we've talked about before. The problem with Rinky is his return game is just not very good.
True. I feel like it's been a little bit better this year. But I like the Munar look. Like playing the bracket challenge. and not like having to wait.
I think Munar might have to be a pick in the bracket challenge for me because like if you're gonna win that challenge, you're gonna have to do some strange things,
Yep.
and you're gonna have to get lucky on some weird underdogs
Yeah.
to beat a field that big. I think Munar to like a quarter might be a way to play that.
Yeah, I think he has a lot of good matchups.
Yeah, I mean he's played Rude tough in the past.
Yes.
And with Rude, you've got and I think in a bracket challenge, it matters a little more. You've got the whole Australian Open baby thing going on where he said he would leave the tournament to go,
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
so I match to match, I don't know how much I care, like, betting individual matches, but I think if you're talking about the tournament, that matters. I mean, we always talk about Chapo being potentially live too. That obviously applies in either direction.
Yeah, but in Munar, that's a really tough matchup. A guy that's just going to grind balls back and then put him in uncomfortable positions. Like he's going to bait
Yeah,
Chapo. Chapo's not equipped to dealing with that.
we've also seen Altmaier play up in slams. I think he's kind of like this
Yeah,
is a really fascinating little section because
it is.
I think there's a lot of live guys here that each have kind of and yeah.
A lot of different play styles too. You got that like
Yeah.
erratic
I
kind
think
of.
Rude Chapo would be a really fun match. I'm really hoping we see that in the third round. Just with two guys who hit with so much spin off the forehand side. The problem is he won't get really any cross court to cross court forehand, so it won't be that great. If Chapo was right handed, it'd be probably a more fun match
I
to
want to see
watch.
Munar Chapo in the third round and see the contrasted styles.
That'd be fun too. Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting section, but I think like there could be a surprise here. I'm interested
Yeah,
to
I
also
agree with that. I think for the
for him.
bracket challenge, this is a section you've got to pick. You've got to
Yeah.
pick an unseeded guy, I think, here if you
Because if
want to win the
Monfils is healthy
challenge.
and playing well, like that could be a really tough match for Shelton.
For sure. I mean, they played a really tough match. Was it last year's Aussie Open?
Yeah, they did. It's a tough four setter, I think.
I think it was 3 sets in retirement for Monfils in the
Oh,
fourth.
that's right. But wasn't Monfils up 2-1 though?
Might have been. I can't remember. One of them was up 2 sets. But I think it was three tie breaks. And I can't remember three 12 game sets at least. And I
Yeah.
can't remember who was ahead. But yeah.
All right, and then the bottom section here, you got Kachanov against Alex Mickelson.
That's a
Um,
great first round
that's a
match. They
great match.
played they played last year here.
They did, and Mickelson beat him in four, I believe.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you got Chris O'Connell will play qualifier Nishesh Bashavaredi, who benefited from Offner celebrating at
And then he did the
one.
choke. He
Yeah,
did the
he did.
choke.
He did. Yeah, that was a painful plus 230 loss on my part to
Yeah.
Offner. Um, it's just once you celebrate in tennis, there's no coming back from that.
Yep.
It's done. It's done. Ah, that was horrible. And it's funny because I was texting, I posted in the group chat. I really hope Offner knows that it's the 10, like before it happened.
Yeah.
And of course, that's what happened. Uh, all right, Mapechi Pericard will play Sebastian Baez. I think that's a fascinating match, just the contrast of styles and heights and stuff. I wonder if Baez wins, if he's gonna like bring the chair out like they did against Opelka. Did you see that when I think Sweeney beat him, right?
I didn't, but that's funny.
Yeah, he before he shook Opelka's hand, he went to grab a chair and stood on the chair and then like gave him a hug.
Funny.
That's funny. Christian Giron will play Luciano Darderi. You got Fonseca is coming back from an injury. We'll play Elliot Spizzirri. I think that's actually a fascinating match. Luca Nardi will play Yabing Wu, a qualifier. James Duckworth will play Dino Prismic, a lucky loser. And then Hugo Gaston will play Yannick Sinner. Uh,
Be kind of funny if Prismic beat Duckworth, and we got to hear about how Prismic took a set off of Djokovic. Now he's going to take a set off of Sinner. But
yeah,
yeah, there's nothing here to trouble Sinner. There's very little trouble Sinner on the tour, but there's absolutely nothing here.
there's nothing. It's a complete cakewalk for him. Um, some fun first round matches, but not, like I think Spizzirri is live against Fonseca. Um, Mickelson Kachanov is obviously exciting. I think Duckworth Prismic is exciting too. I'm probably going to be on Duckworth there. I agreed with the MP9 tidbits guys on that one. I think Prismic is vastly overrated. watching him more and more.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean futures value. I mean the pricing on Sinner is absolutely bonkers. It's minus 700 to win the quarter. It's ridiculous.
But who beats him besides injury? I mean, I think that's the interesting conversation there is like at like what is the money line you would need to take like Gaston or Prismich or Duckworth to beat him? Like just not because they're not winning a tennis match, but like maybe Yannick like gets seriously injured in the middle of the match or something. Like if it's 100 to 1, 200 to 1, is it worth a shot? It won't get there just because of VIG. Maybe on an exchange.
Yeah.
But I think it's an interesting question.
Yeah, you need 100 to 1 to win a single tennis match. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, so I have three futures plays. The one that I touched on was the Bublik to advance further than Musetti at plus 105. That's still out there if you want to grab it. That's on Bovada. Then I got the Medvedev to make the or lose in the semifinals at 4 to 1. And then I'm riding a ticket that I placed before the US Open, Alcaraz to win the title at plus 275. I think anytime, we kind of touched on this before the pod, anytime you see Alcaraz or Sinner at plus 170 to win any of these slams, I feel like you just have to like grab it. With how far
Yeah.
ahead they are, you just have to grab it. I don't think you have a choice at this point. Um, I just kind of want to look at if they have like French Open, Wimbledon draw lines out now. There's just so much Australian Open stuff that I can't even find the Wimbledon ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a shame because like these guys just take all the value away from these futures lines. Like these futures prices are more enticing for the 250s and 500s, right? When they're not in the draw.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what it kind of boils down to. But yeah, any futures plays like um that
Well, the
catch
one
you?
I've got locked in is the one I took preseason, which is Alcaraz or Sinner to win all four slams at plus 140. So
Yep. Yeah.
other than that, I will probably announce some stuff tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Probably some of that goofy like this guy to win this or this guy to win, this guy to advance further than him or these two has to meet in the tournament kind of things. Anything else, I think three of the four quarters are really tough to bet. I think Alcaraz and Sinner just have great or just so far ahead. And then the Djokovic quarters he just gets a really good string of matchups. I think the only quarter that might be fascinating to take a bet on is the Medvedev Zverev quarter.
Yeah. I agree. I agree. I mean, to meet in the tournament, Fritz versus Djokovic is plus 325. Alcaraz versus Demonor to meet plus 275, but we kind of like Bublik in that section. Shelton and Sinner to meet is plus 300. That could be
I think
interesting.
those are the types of bets I'd be looking at. It's hard for me to like tell you what I'm going to play right there right now, like off the cuff with those. They're hard. They're hard to like. I think
Yeah.
they're hard to kind of visualize, but yeah, there's definitely those of the. I think though if you're going to play those are going to be some of the things you might get better pricing on. It's not a great tournament to try to play somebody.
No, it's not. It's not. But we have a bracket challenge, which will be fun. I guess that will take the place of
Yep.
futures stuff and the betting
Yep.
challenge too. So, all right. So we'll be back in about 8 to 9 hours to have some first round previews with Smooth. So looking
Yep.
forward to that, and then the matches start soon. So
Yep. All
exciting
right,
stuff.
everyone. Sounds great.
Have a good night.
Yep. Have a good night.